90% of money nerds, people just like me, will never realize this simple truth. I spent over a decade obsessing over money, thinking I was doing everything right. But I was making a huge mistake that actually robbed me of what money is actually supposed to give us. I'm going to show you exactly what this mistake was and how you can avoid wasting years like I did. First, let's talk about being a money nerd. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Now, if you're a money nerd like me, you probably love learning about finances, optimizing your investments, and even tinkering in the spreadsheets you've built for yourself, despite the fact that so many online calculators exist. You may also binge watch personal finance YouTube or binge listen to your favorite finance podcasts. You may also read nothing but personal finance books, even though you already know what most of them say. Does this sound familiar? Now, before you deny it, the very fact that you're watching this video means you at least relate to this term in some way. But not all money nerds started out this way. In my mind, there are two types of money nerds. The first type grew up hustling. It's like they came out of their mother's womb with entrepreneurship built into their DNA. They learned very early on what money could provide. This was my story. I grew up washing cars for money, babysitting the neighbor's child, and even building a local lawn mowing business. Granted, it had a smaller barrier to entry because I used my parents' riding lawnmower to minimize my upfront costs. But by age 13, I was turning down requests to mow additional yards because I was already busy enough. I was earning enough to buy new video games and practically everything I needed as a young teenager. I was hustling. Part of that is tied to me being the youngest of 3 boys. I always saw my older brothers doing things that I couldn't, and that pushed me to grow up a little bit faster. Even today, I've been told I have an old soul. If you have a similar experience, you might fall into this first type of money nerd. And if not, you may fall into the second type, which I call the accidental money nerd. These are people who have fallen down the personal finance rabbit hole later in life. And later in life is subjective. It could be in your 20s or 30s or in your 40s or 50s. Many of us have had this aha moment where we started to take our finances more seriously. I like to think of there being a key inflection point. There was a distinct moment or time in your life where you changed your approach. It's kind of like Neo in the Matrix, where he's forced to choose between the red or the blue pill. Something may have brought about this change, but ultimately you choose to go down this path. This is how Jess became a money nerd. Strangely enough, I also had this experience. In my 20s, despite my hustle and money earning prowess as a young person, I realized I knew very little about personal finance. I felt like I was behind in some way, that I lacked the knowledge to effectively manage our finances, and that I would make this huge mistake that I would regret later. So I created a new hobby for myself. I started obsessing over personal finance blogs, reading anything and everything I could get my hands on. And it worked. Over time, I became the expert in personal finance. Many of my friends have come to me asking for advice or to understand how X, Y, or Z works. And somewhere in the process, I made a critical mistake that 90% of money nerds also make. I became so focused on the finances that it turned into an obsession. It was no longer about what money could provide, it was about the money itself. Money stopped being a means to an end and became the end itself. I forgot a well-known truth that money is a tool. While I was technically working toward a goal of building more freedom in the future, it was kind of abstract and I wasn't working toward anything specific. Saving more and more became a game that we were actually quite good at. Over the course of a 5-year period, we increased our savings rate from 25% to over 60%. But we had no clear goal beyond saving more money or reaching financial independence. Now, if we had continued down this path, we would have achieved financial independence by now, and we would have been miserable. You see, when money is the sole focus, nothing else matters. You master the craft, forming strong habits that are really hard to reverse. You might tell yourself that you're working toward a goal so you can one day be free, but everything you're doing is actually working against that someday freedom. You end up with no real hobbies, unsure of what brings you joy, and a deep struggle to actually spend money. Most importantly, you set yourself up for a harsh awakening when the day finally comes to accept that you have enough money. We were strangely fortunate to have a wake-up call earlier in our journey. Shortly after reaching a 60% savings rate, my wife experienced severe anxiety and panic attacks. She was forced to stop working for 6 months, and it forced us to reevaluate the plan moving forward. That's where we discovered new approaches to financial independence, including a concept known as Coast Financial Independence, or CoastFi for short. It's a financial milestone where you already have enough saved that you no longer need to contribute to your retirement. Now, with enough time, your investments will grow to reach financial independence without saving another dollar. Now, after learning that we had already crossed this milestone, we started to accept that we could take our foot off the gas pedal and start to enjoy our journey. We could coast to financial independence. That inflection point was now 7 years ago. Since then, we've learned how to earn less, how to spend money on things we enjoy without sacrificing our future, and we've relearned how to see money as a tool. We've also started teaching what we've learned to others, helping turn money nerds into adventurers. Through our Design a Life You Love program, Coast with Confidence, and our in-person retreats, we help others identify their ideal life and start taking action to make that a reality. Since teaching others how to shift their approach, we've also learned what concepts and ideas are the most transformative. Here are the top 3 concepts. The first thing to help reframe your relationship with money is to start thinking about what's enough for the medium term. In personal finance, we often talk about the distant future and immediate needs. We want to know that our retirement is taken care of, that we'll be okay in our old age. We also want to make sure that we can cover our current living expenses. Notice what's missing? Everything in the middle. There's no finite length of time for the medium term either. It can be flexible. When you start to articulate what activities and experiences you want in the medium term, you begin to identify the things you enjoy or want to explore. Do you want to travel for long periods of time? Do you want to own a lake house? Do you want more time to spend on a woodworking hobby? One of our students in the Coast with Confidence program reflected that this exercise helped them break through their scarcity mindset and start to identify new activities to invest in. Give it a try and see if it can help you identify what's missing in your life. The second exercise that can transform your relationship with money is to run different financial scenarios. Thinking about taking a year off? Run the numbers and see what the results look like. Considering reducing your workload and earning less money? Create a new scenario. This may sound simple, but this approach to your finances can be a game changer. It helps you understand the trade-offs and make informed decisions. More importantly, it provides concrete evidence to work through those money fears that often hold us back. Taking a year off may feel scary when you're first considering it, but it becomes that much easier to act on when you understand the actual financial impact. This is a core part of our Coast with Confidence program where we walk through students' numbers in our CoastFi calculator and show them how to run different scenarios. You can do this on your own with our free CoastFi calculator, but if you want help or support, consider joining our next cohort of the Coast with Confidence program. I'll include a link in the description below. Last, but definitely not least, is understanding the value of a supportive community. Things really change when you surround yourself with people who encourage and support your wildest dreams. No matter how you go about it, find a group of people doing the things you want to do and immerse yourself in that community. Attend conferences or retreats, organize local meetups, and find your people. Now, there's a reason that all of our programs are community oriented. Choosing an unconventional life becomes that much easier when you have people walking alongside you. You're also more likely to take action. Don't complicate it, just start surrounding yourself with awesome people. You'll be surprised at the results you see. Changing your understanding of money won't happen overnight, but it is possible to find a better balance. I'm living proof of that. Start by implementing one or more of these changes and see how it helps reframe your approach to financial independence. And if you're still tempted to grind it out and reach financial independence as fast as possible, watch this video up here. We cover all of the reasons not to continue hustling your way there and talk about the new approach to FIRE. Thanks so much for watching and enjoy your journey.